That is the present situation in Rivers State, in Port Harcourt, to be precise, as Fubara and others are expected to possibly just lay low or leave town. You get what I mean? What about the National Assembly? Because immediately Tifnubu finished that recording, the cut and join recording, right? He said in that state, he said he has forwarded, or he will be forwarding the his declaration to the National Assembly for ratification. And of course, you know, they are going to ratify it for him, straight up, right? So from now on, people are going to be discussing the legality of this, and it can their courts, they compromise the judiciary of now. Can they by any means disobey Tifnubu, right? By, you know, by kind of like avoiding the state of emergency declared by Tifnubu in sacking Fubara and the State Assembly, like with this kind of judiciary, be able to stand up. So one of their senators, this is Abaribe Eyinaya, speaks on what would the National Assembly be doing in this regard, because they are supposed to be this State Assembly, I think now, during the suspension of the State Assembly, the National Assembly, the Senate, they are meant to be their sort of lawmakers now. His own point, Abaribe
can decide to appoint a few people to help him and all that. They don't now need to be confirmed by anybody and all that. I think that's what it means.
So what will be the role of the National Assembly now following this declaration of emergency?
Well, I think the Constitution says very clearly that the National Assembly will have to approve it.
Right.
Yes, and then, of course, if there's any other regulation that needs to be made or any other thing, according to the Constitution, that's what we will have to do in the National Assembly.
What will that process entail?
Well, the process will be that tomorrow, the Senate President and the Speaker on one side, they will read the proclamation and words, and then we'll ask for.
Will it involve a joint sitting of the two houses?
Usually not.
Right, because you said the president will sit next to the speaker.
Yeah, usually not. Right. Joint sittings are done basically when we have to receive the budget. Right. So I think that the deliberations will be different and done. And we'll now see what will happen. I think that eventually we must come to some consensus. No one wants a situation where there is anarchy in the country. Nobody wants that.
But did it look to you like that River State was heading towards anarchy?
I didn't see it. I thought that there was still a window, to fix things, but then
a window for a political settlement.
For a political settlement.
Right.
I thought that there was still a window, but well, it has happened. We have to deal with it.
Right. Okay. Well, I want to thank you for being very benevolent in your answers, although you were rather cagey in your answers.
In a working system, right, Tifnubu needs 2/3 of the National Assembly to ratify this declaration. Out of 109 senators in Nigerian Senate, or Senate, because I see them as, Senate, so I call them Senate, all right? Anyway, out of the 109 member Nigeria Senate, right, 51 of them are of the opposition, while 58 of them are of the APC bloc. But APC needs an extra 15 senators to actually pass any bill or anything at all into law. That means they need like about 2/3. It said 2/3 of the Senate, Abi. So the 2/3 of 108 should be somewhere around maybe 75, 76. I'm not good in math, please. Just thereabout, Abi. Which means, I mean, you can't say 2/3 is 58 to 51. Doesn't make sense, right? So it should be somewhere around 70, 75, 78, kind of. Which means APC, Egbekegbe, may be the majority, but they do not actually have the majority to pass any bill without the consent of this other opposition, in which Abaribe is one of them. Now, if Nigeria was a really working democracy, a really working system, right now, due to some of the, wrong 72, thank you, Jerry. I'm very close, not far off. 72 members, they need 72. So 72, that means they are going to need extra 14 plus their 58. Abi, they're going to need extra 14 members before they can even pass any simple majority. Abi, wait till they call them to third. But rather, these National Assembly senators of the other opposition parties, they are always doing esprit de corps in their National Assembly. So in a working democracy, they can shut it down and say, listen, you need to go and redraft that's your declaration. If you are declaring a state of emergency, declare state of emergency in the areas where you believe there has been total breakdown of law and order. There is no breakdown of law and order in Rivers State as we speak. There is no evidence of the breakdown of law and order where everywhere is like chaos, fighting, and all of that. There is nothing like that. So Tifnumbu relying on a section 305, I've been at 308, I've been so that ordinarily would have united the opposition to say, to save this democracy, to let you know that you don't have any absolute power. You are not the president with absolute power. You don't have it. That is what democracy would have been like. But in that contraption, like including those who even come from River States themselves, they are going to line up and be like PDP, PDAPC. Here you get. So this is the purpose of having bicameral legislature, waited the column, whereby the checks and balances of these three branches of government. But they are not independent. And unfortunately, even the politics of opposition is never in the favor of the people they claim to be representing. The people they are representing are all out there crying of the state of things. And the same system, the same oppressed people would really want everyone to keep quiet. Now that the agenda is that if you criticize Tifnumbu, that means you hate the Yorubas. Meanwhile, under Tifnumbu, Yorubas are facing the kind of hell that I believe are kind of described in your religious book as hell, tough, gone. This is what everybody is facing. There is no special, the special economy created for the Yorubas and say, since you are Yorubas, don't worry, Jare, you are lucky. See, this one is Yoruba. You are so lucky. You are not facing what we are facing. There is nothing like that. Everybody is feeling the shege of this Tifnumbu's clueless, corrupt, deeply corrupt, illegitimate government. A few days ago, when they started the Tinubu is a hashtag, Tinubu is a terrible president. Okay, we have asked people, and most of those who actually condemns, and even they went as far as calling for death penalty on this young girl, right? For actually speaking up and calling Tifnumbu the terrible president. And this has also sort of started an online revolution where the Gen Z and even those who are like the millennials and those who are even older have been making, supportive videos to show to the rest of the world indeed that Tifnumbu and his gang might have used propaganda and the violence to rig themselves into power. But they are going to need more than that propaganda and violence, bullying, for them to actually run a country successfully. So you can't tell people that inflation is falling down, and those whose everyday life is the true reality. I mean, the reality of the true things in that contraption, you know. So you can't really take that away. You can't hide that so much from them or try to shut them up. So on the third day, in fact, let's start with this. Those who are on the side of Teknumbu on this 30 days rant challenge started by Rita.
This is where it gets interesting. As regards the trending video of this lady that was trending yesterday, I made a video earlier and I faulted the government where the government had obvious faults. And of course, I saw many emotional reactions pouring in just as expected. But now let's talk about everything that's wrong about the video this girl made. First and foremost, young lady, you made a false claim of threat, which in my own opinion should be criminal because you know exactly what you are doing. You claim you were threatened because you said, shut up, you are not talking to your mate. Go and pull down that video. And you said that is threat. Meanwhile, you called the president a terrible president and you said that is a statement. But take down that video is a threat. Now, do you know what threat is? If she has said that if you don't take down that video, we will not give you your NYSC certificates, now that becomes a threat. If you don't take down that video, we will block you anywhere. You will not find work all over Nigeria. You will not get a job. Now that becomes a threat. What has she threatened you with? Come out and clear the air. Secondly, talking about the economic hardship you complained about, I've carefully observed you and I will tell you for a fact here, you contribute to 80% of your problem. The government only contributes just 20% to it. Don't get me wrong, for those of you that don't know how to listen, there is economic hardship. But I'm using this girl now that has come out to complain as a case study. You are a core member and your monthly pay is just 33,000 naira. But look at your hair. Your hair should be in hundreds of thousands. Look at your laptop. You don't use a regular laptop, you use a MacBook. You live on the island from what I can see here. And you are just earning 33,000 naira. You are living above your means, clearly. If we would investigate you properly, we'll find out that where you are living, electricity is on band A. So are you expecting it to be cheap there? And you made claims that Lagos is smelling. I have seen enemies of Lagos start drumming and rejoicing, even when they benefit from the same Lagos. I don't know which state you are from originally, but go back to that your state. Compare the population of that your state to the population of Lagos. Compare how many people flock into Lagos on a daily and compare to how many people flock into that your village or that your state that is same thing. You cannot compare the mess of 30 people to 30,000 people. And if Lagos state government today will choose to tackle the problem of dirtiness and offensive odor in Lagos, the population of Lagos will be one effective tool to do that. But if the Lagos state government should come tomorrow and say, please, if you are not from this region or from this geopolitical zone, please go back to your state, go back to your village where it is smelling nice and fresh. So we can help Lagos smell nice and fresh too, just like your place. You are ready to throw the whole nation upside down and say, hey, tribalism. It is always very easy to blame the government, but have you checked yourself to see how you are contributing to this same problem? Now, I challenge the NYSC now to investigate this girl properly. You go see, say this service where she did do for that Lagos where she did, it is very much possible she worked it there. She was not where she should have been posted originally by the NYSC. I've not confirmed that, but I can put an open bet. Anybody, come with your bet. So after making sure that you were posted to Lagos and your PPA is on the island, you still come outside to condemn the same Lagos that is smelling. Why do you invest so much energy, so much effort to make sure you were posted to somewhere that is smelling in the first place?
The lady that made video against Tinubu, that Tinubu is the worst president ever. Let us talk about her. She did the right thing. She made a good video. She you know, Obinu, over 1,000 guy, but at the wrong time. At the wrong time, she already has a core member. So register for service. When you get there, it is part of our rules. Don't display by Bagada. As a core member, you are not to be involved in any government activities, protests, or anything against the government. One board of Bambe. To bat alone, you register. To bat in the camp by first orientation on camp. They will do not be involved in anything that has to do with the government, against the government, anything government shall run from it, except the government invites you themselves. Then, to an interest at that point, withdraw. If you want to be an activist, withdraw. What the lady did is fine. Because they can't come and but now, to please, if you know if you are close to her, tell her to withdraw. Can't want to learn when you take up matter and you against the government. She's a core member for goodness sake. If people are pushing her, do it. If the wala starts, hello baby girl, nobody will be there. They will run. Everybody is a car. They will run away. You did the right thing. Nobody is blaming you. But at the wrong time, you're a core member. You're very easy to trace. Before you know it, video I will not mention his name. He's from there. He posted the video then. But the video you don't buy don't answer them. Don't mind them. Continue. But what I day. Withdraw. Do not allow anybody to push you. I want to activists. You activists you understand? While I share video you already now, but don't she want to my dear. Withdraw 2 months. Only after 2 months.
Nuisance lele.
As you have the male Ronuku, you have the female Ronukus as well. So them, they will pretend to be advising you. I remember when I started this Mayegun's diary years back. And you know me, I kind of was just expressing myself, ranting, like, forming names for these mofos. And there are people, there were people who actually loved it. Yes, my brother, man, I love this guy. Others are just like, hey, what is wrong with you? Think about your tomorrow. Yeah, well, do you think because you are living abroad, do you think one day you are not going to need the help of this? No, a lot of things. Then there were those that will pretend to befriend me. They will send me message. This was years ago. So they will send me messages. Hello, Mayegun. Sorry, then they will start advising me. Meanwhile, they were all closet Buhari idiots at the time. Excuse me. You will think they actually like you. That's why they're advising you. Others will come, like the first one who is jealous. How can a youth copper be wearing the wig of 400,000 naira? How can a youth copper collecting 33,000 be living in an island? Look at her. She's complaining about 33,000, but look at her laptop. She's using a MacBook. This is a typical Ronuku syndrome. Here you get now. They are jealous. They sort of loathe success and progress, and whatever they can't have, they will badmouth it and tell you that you are either called, if you are a female, they will call you Olosho, like you are a prostitute or what have you. And if you are a young man, you are an automatic Yahoo boy. So how can you, in this hardship, in this no opportunity, no nothing like this, where they can't find opportunity, despite being on the side of the ruiners of the contraption, but you're looking good, you just bought a car. Why is that? How is that? I don't believe you. You must be doing something shady. So this is the kind of the characters of the APC, Nazis. So they point at things, if they feel like you are living in the same shithole with them, and you are not like this man.
Gbogbo ọmọ Nàìjíríà kò ń ṣe bàbá wa ọlọ́lá jùlọ Tinubu ló jẹ́ kí ohun gbogbo kó hàn. Ẹ bèrè ní ọwọ́ Àtíkù Abubakar àti Peter Obi, àwọn ló ń bẹ nídìí rẹ̀ tó ń da Nàìjíríà rú. God bless Nigeria. Gbogbo ọmọ Nàìjíríà kò ń ṣe bàbá wa ọlọ́lá jùlọ Tinubu ló jẹ́ kí ohun gbogbo kó hàn. Ẹ bèrè ní ọwọ́ Àtíkù Abubakar àti Peter Obi, àwọn ló ń bẹ nídìí rẹ̀ tó ń da Nàìjíríà rú. God bless Nigeria.
That's a grown man. And let me be honest, with you. That man, if I ask you to please give me, give him an age, like how old do you think he is? A lot of you will probably say he's 50, 60, 70, some will say 80. That is what poverty does. What he's saying is that, fellow Nigerians, it is not Tinubu that is behind the high cost of living. You should ask Atiku and Peter Obi. They are those behind the destruction going on in Nigeria. It is not Tinubu. God bless Nigeria. That's what he said in that video. And there are people like that. Listen to me. There are people in their millions who actually feels like that. Do you see the danger here? There are people who actually feels like that and they believe that. And there's nothing you can tell them. So it makes it more like, So you have the young Ronukus, you have the older Ronu Nazis, the Ronukus as well, where somehow, right, they want things to be the way they are.